Hi chums. Right, I've had a request to show how I finish my pens. Well, these aren't pens, these are razors. And this is what we're doing today. I've got the camera pushed fairly far in there, focused in close, so that's why my fingers are looking so big. So I'm doing razors today, and this is a different razor. It's the same process, but it's a different style of razor. These ones have got a long, slender stalk or handle. These ones have a short, fat handle. So how do I do my razors? It's very simple. People hate sanding, but sanding is because you're not cutting basically. But sanding is cutting, only you're cutting on a microscopic scale, I suppose. You know. If you don't use decent sandpaper, you will resent sanding, because if you're working with crappy sandpaper, you're not going to get crappy results, and you're going to wonder why you're not getting the results other people get that look like they're doing a really nice job. So what you need to do is use decent sandpaper. Now, one of the things you need to get out of your head is that there's a piece of 120, right? And as you can see, there's a wee bit of dust on it there. Right, that's still cutting. I can feel it's still cutting. But just to get rid of that dust, I just do that. I rub it in the sleeve and the dust's gone. Now, you'll know yourself when there's a wee bit there where it's getting a bit, you're losing the grit. Now, 120 does not become 180 after it's been used, and then become 240 after it's been used a bit more, and then become 320. That's rubbish. 120 when it's done is 120 done. It doesn't become anything else. You've abraded the surface off, so most of this stuff is gone. You're back down to the backing. So don't try to use this as 180 on your next job, because it'll not act as 180. It'll act as bad to 120. So the easiest thing I do is I get those discs. Just get the round discs off eBay. They're not that dear, and I cut them in 4, which means I can use more of the paper than I could if I was using the full disc. So I get much better value. And the wee adage of use sandpaper like somebody else is paying for it is true. You don't want to try to skimp on sandpaper, because that's why we get frustrated, because when we're not getting a good finish, because the stuff we're using is crap. So buy the best you can afford and use it until it's done, and don't use it anymore. Throw it in the bin, and then you'll find that you actually speed your sanding up because you're using decent stuff, and it won't be as awful as you think it as some people think it normally is, you know. So what we'll do is we'll start off here. So I've got this cut down to almost to the bushings. We're not right on them yet, because I want to sand down to the bushings to make sure I'm square with them, you know. So I'll do that now. Next thing is cut the lathe down to about half speed. So that's going about 2400 there. I've got it down to about 1000 now. And then just gently. And then take it off and rub it. Keep the sandpaper clean, okay? The other way you can do it is just hit it with an airline and just, you know, you can clean it that way too. But I'm kind of lazy, and I use my sleeve. So we're not down to the bushing yet. But you can see I'm going to be doing very little sanding here. In real terms, it's boring. Like, this is probably the most boring going to be the most boring video on YouTube. But it will let you see exactly what I do. Right, now I'm happy with that. We're down to the bushings there. I can just feel the bushings, or a wee tiny hair off the bushings. Well, I want to leave a bit more for the 180 and 240 and that. So clean that off, then stop the lathe, and what I do then is hit it with the air. That blows any stuff off, and then, whoops, drop the sandpaper, and then I hand rub it. So get on the clean bit of sandpaper and just gently go with the grain, because I'm putting circular marks into the wood when I'm sanding like this with the lathe running. So I want to get those out. So we take those out by running this way. Then we start the lathe again, and then stop. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to inspect this. This will be the only time that I inspect this for scratches that have to come out still. There are scratches in it, but they're the scratches from 120. They're not the scratches from cutting. So I'm okay, I'm happy with that. So now we can move on now to 180. And lathe back on again. And it's the same process, clean sandpaper, and then nice and gentle. And keep taking your sandpaper off and cleaning it, because it stops it clogging up. I normally wear a mask for this, Because you can see that's like cigarette smoke. The dust coming off that is so fine, so I don't want to be breathing it in, but it's very hard to talk with one of those airless masks on. So that seems okay now. Turn that off. Be quick blow, and then I'll stand it along the grain again. And this is what I do. Okay, there's no big secret in this. It's just the process I go through. Now maybe it helps that I kind of suffer from OCD. So turn it on again, and then I'm going to blow that off now, because there's I produce some dirt, some dust there, which is 180 grit dust, you could say. So now we're coming on to 240. Clean my sandpaper and a wee touch, and you see it gets quicker and quicker as you go down, because you're only taking off the marks from the time before. We blow with that, and then just give it a wee rub, just to take the 120, take the 240 lines out. And see, we're getting to the stage now where we can't even see the lines, you know. Run again, blow those off, and then we're on to 320. Now we're going to go to 500 here, so it's not as if I'm going to go to like 25,000 and you'll be there till 12:30 tonight. See what I'm doing? I'm always cleaning my paper. Where are we? I'm always cleaning my paper on my sleeve, so that I'm not putting dust back onto the thing again. That feels okay there now. We'll stop that, blow it off, and then we get back in with the clean side of the 320 and just give it a wee rub. And all you're doing, I'm barely touching this. All I'm doing is taking off the dust that I created there when I was sanding, when I did the long sanding. Start it again. We rub, and we're on to 400. Clean my 400 off. Well, actually, that there, that's okay. See, we're still taking wee bits off, and just move around and keep moving around your sandpaper so that you're using fresh pieces. This bit's getting close to being done. That feels nice. Stop that. I didn't know how long this was taking. Maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes it does for the whole thing. We'll know better when we turn the thing off. And then we rub it with the 400. And we're on to our second last grit now. So just 400. Don't be rubbing too hard here. We don't want to make flats on this either. All we want to do is take off the wee spirals we made with that paper. Start it again. We're on to the last grit now. Whoops. And we're on to 500. Now, look at that. I'm not happy with that 500 because I've got some stuff, residue there and there and there, which isn't coming off very well. So I'll take a new piece of 500, because it's the most important. Your last grit is going to be the most important. If you've done all the work up to now, you don't want to mess it up by using a crappy piece of 500 to finish off. That feels okay. Stop, blow that off, and then give this a wee rub down with the 500. Just clean it here, right, there we go. Right, start to run it again. Now let's just finish that sanding now, and so long as we're happy that it's okay. Now this is the last time you inspect your blank. The other thing I did there before I come out again, I cut my fingernails. Right, there's nothing as frustrating as getting your blank all nice, and you go like that, and just at the end you touch your fingernail in the blank and you leave a scratch in the surface, or you leave in the wax, or you leave a scratch on the blank, and then you're going back to 240 maybe to get rid of that. So make sure your fingernails aren't too long, because you will catch them, and that's why I caught one on one of the other blanks there, and that's why I went and cut them, because I knew it was going to happen again, you know, if I didn't do it. Right, so we're okay. I'm happy enough with that blank. I don't see any marks on it, any scratches, and I'm using my reading glasses here, folks. I find my reading glasses give me the right distance for doing this, and I actually got the optician to do my focal length. I watched somebody, a very famous person, doing a demo and made a big deal about getting their focal length set to the distance for the lathe by their optician and everything. And people were going, "Oh my goodness!" And I was using my reading glasses for turning at this stage, and I said to my optician, about the focal length being the same for turning and the focal length for reading, and she said, let me see where the work is on the lathe. And I stood up and put my hands where the work would be, and she went, that's your normal reading focal length. So this stuff about getting your glasses made to an exact focal length of the lathe, use your reading glasses. It's exactly the same thing as getting special ones made, you know. So, and they're made to the same focal length, so that's no doubt bullshit. Right, now, next thing is sanding sealer. Right, there's two reasons I use sanding sealer. One is to seal the wood a bit, and the other one is to clean the wood, because it's full of dust now, and we'll see what happens when I've cleaned this off. This is kind of your reward. Now, this is a piece of paper I used for waxing, and it's still nice and soft. It's not soft, it's hard. Right, get a clean piece. And we're going to hear, oh my goodness, you used a blue towel. And there's all this stuff. You don't use blue towels and all the rest. I've been using blue towels for 10 years, and I've never had blue on the wood yet. I've maybe had a bit caught in the wood, but you'll get a bit of sort of burr or something will catch a bit of the towel. But sure, do that with white stuff too. Now, I put this on. There you are. There's a much put on. Just a couple of teaspoonfuls, you know. Let it soak into the rag, and then just wipe it on, and that's your reward for your work. You get to see what the blank's going to look like. Okay, and that's it. And once again, I'm going with the grain to take the stuff out. Okay, so I'm happy that's clean. Then turn the lathe up to full speed, and I want to get that off now. So I'm using centrifugal force to blow the stuff, throw the stuff out, and you don't want to get that in your glasses. Incidentally, make sure I'm standing to the side a wee bit here. You don't want to get I've got thinners in that sanding sealer, and it'll not do your plastic lenses very much good in your glasses. Right, so now, that's that done. Now, we've got an issue here now. I've just wiped that with this stuff here, which is going to raise the grain. Okay, and I've used a cloth on it as well, which is there's a certain amount of abrasiveness in the cloth, whatever, maybe it's 12,000 or whatever it is, or 20,000. Actually, somebody said a brown paper bag is 20,000 or something. Anyway, whatever it is, that looks fine to me. Now, next thing is wax. There's the wax I use there. Wood wax, chestnut wood wax 22. It's a general clear wax. And it's got beeswax and all the good stuff, carnauba and all the rest of it. But I'll show you how I put it on, and this solves the problem of any little bits that are sticking up. Right? What I've done is I've got a little bit of nye web in my wax, so I take some out on the nye web, and then I put the wax on the same way as I was sanding, by sanding along the grain. And what that's doing is it's putting wax onto the wood, but it's also denibbing the wood. It's exactly the same thing as using wire wool. I'm going to turn the lid on, and I just give it a wee rub like that to make sure I'm into all the pores. And that's that. It's the same as using wire wool to denib. So the nye web denibs for you. Okay, so we're on to that. I'll need a bit of paper now. We're back to the blue cloth. I let that run for a few minutes just to get it, let the what do you call it, solvents blow off and stuff. Now what we're doing now is we're going to melt the wax into the wood. So I don't put it on, do this here immediately. I put this on and hold it against the wood and just gently move from side to side. And I'm keeping the wax between the wood and the cloth, so that I can feel my fingers getting warm now, but not hot. You don't want to get hot. And what I'm doing is I'm melting the wax into the wood. And then what we've got in the cloth is we've got the residue that we don't need. And then we'll go back up here and just gently take off any excess that we've got. Right, now that's not bad, okay? So we've got our finish now. And the next bit is, I don't know if it's a secret bit or not, this stuff here. Shit hot wax stick. It's pure carnauba wax from Australia by the something Butte polishes from Australia. Now there's the length of the bar and there's the end of it, right? That's what I've used in 7 years. I've got, or 10 years nearly, I've got from that end of the bar to that, and I've made a lot of pens, and this stuff is brilliant. Just give it a wee clean. It's very hard, and then just quickly down while the lathe is full speed, and I'll just let that blow off a wee bit. Now what I'm going to do now, wax does not stick to wax, okay? So what you do is you need to blend these together now. So same thing again, in with the heat, and just hold it on and gently move from side to side, just to keep the heat, stop the heat in one position, so you're warming the whole thing up. So what I'm doing here is I'm melting the carnauba wax, and it's blending with the other wax, which has got carnauba in it as well. And see, you're not getting a great view in the light here because I've moved. Yeah, just moved over there now. Now there's what I've taken. I don't know if you can see that or not. If you can see the bit there where my finger is pointing, you can just maybe see the wee bit of wax on it. And then there's very little there at all. And then go to a fresh piece and just give it a wee buff. And what we're doing here is just making sure that there's no any residues off. We don't want to leave wax sitting on it because that'll actually be dull. And folks, that's our blank finished. I don't know, 10 minutes. Now, maybe that's too long for some people, but if you want to get a really nice finish, this is the way, well, that's the way I finish mine, and people tell me it's a really nice finish. Now, there's a wee thing there. See, I've got an issue here. Now, there's something on that. Right, I don't know what that is, but I'm going to go back now. So, what do you do when you get a wee issue like that there? You start your lathe. And you get your 500 and you take your finish off again. Okay? So I'm taking all the finish off now because I don't know what that wee white thing was. It wasn't a bit of cloth because the cloth's blue. So maybe it's a bit of fluff or something else that got caught and says, I'm not going to go through all this again, I'm going to stop. I just will, sure. If you want to, you can turn the video off now, because I'm going to do exactly the same thing again, and that little white thing has gone. Okay, so next thing is, right, quickly in carnauba wax, not carnauba wax, this sanding sealer, get that on and get that off. I'll show you how quick it was to fix. Okay, I'll tell you, I'll leave this running and you'll see how quick it is to fix something like that and why it's worth going to the bother of fixing it. Alright, so there you are, that's that done and dried. Stop the lathe, get the wax. Oh no, I have to go back. I have to go back and do all that again, right? Well, this is what going back and doing it all again is. You just go back to 500, put your wax back on again. There you go. Have I have to spotted something again there? Is there something coming off the wax there onto that? Oh no, we're alright, we're alright. I think I'm starting to imagine things now. So get that going. Get a fresh piece of paper. And this is what it is, folks, when you're finishing. It's this sort of attention to detail that gets you the good finishes. Because if you don't pay attention to your finish, you'll not get a good finish. It's all about patience and putting the time in, basically, and being careful and fussy, basically. Being really, really fussy, which is just right down my street. Now, what I'm going to do is, before I put the carnauba on this time, I'm going to stop and make sure that finish is okay. I've just realised something too. I've got my wedding ring on. That shouldn't have been done. Right now. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, so bring that back up to speed again. And then just melt that in. You can see the wax getting pushed down to the ends, like a ring of wax. You push it down off the end of the blank. It means you know you're getting rid of the stuff that you've got too much of. That's not looking too bad now. Let's see what that's like. Yeah, we're okay there now. So that's it, folks. Whatever length that time it took, and you saw how long. Would it take 1 minute to fix that? So that's basically where it is. So that's what I do in my pens. Now what I'll do is when I'm doing an acrylic pen, I'll do it. I'll show you the difference. The difference with it is I sand to 500, and then I start with the start with the 9 micro mesh after that. And that brings up the acrylics really nicely. But I'll do that for you sometime and show you exactly how I do that. So that's how I do pens, folks. Just sand, clean, sand, clean, sand, clean, and then finish up with the sanding sealer and some wood wax, whatever wax you've got, and then that carnauba wax, and that gives me a nice durable finish. I don't use super glue for a finish, or CA glue. I don't like a high gloss on wood. I love it on acrylics, but I don't use super glue on acrylics. You don't need it in acrylics. You can get that with the polishes. But I don't do it on wood because I don't like a real high gloss on wood. I prefer like a sort of a satin type gloss, you know. But I love it. I like it to feel nice. That's the main thing, is that it feels nice. So there you are, folks. I hope that was helpful. Okay, thanks for watching, for sticking it this long. 17 minutes. Oh my goodness. I thought that was, no, it's not 17. 21. Oh no. Right. Anyway, here we go. All the best now. Bye bye.